Welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. My name is Rory. Today we're going to make a rotating earth and text that rotates around it. As you saw in the example in the intro, we're going to need a 16 by 9 picture similar to the one you're looking at in the viewer. It can't be a round picture like a round earth or a round planet or a round baseball. It has to be flat like this, 16 by 9, because it has to wrap around the sphere. So with that being said, I'll leave a link to this one in the description if you want to use it. So we're in the Edit tab. We're going to right click in our media pool. We're going to choose New Fusion Composition. Click Create. We're going to drag that down into our timeline. I'm going to stretch that out to 15 seconds. And we're going to jump into the Fusion page. We have our Media Out node. We're going to double click in this blank area so nothing is highlighted. Here we have a 3D shape node. We're going to click on that. We're going to bring in a 3D merge, a camera, and a render node. So you should have these 4 nodes. I'm going to highlight these 2 and bring them over here. Bring this camera down. Hook your render node to your media out. It should show in viewer number 2. We're going to highlight merge 3D. We're going to hit shift space bar. We're going to type directional light. And we want this directional light node. I'm going to add that. So with that as such, we're going to take our shape 3D. We're going to drag it into viewer 1. We're going to come over to our inspector panel with shape 3D highlighted. Under shape, we're going to change it from plane to sphere. We're going to bump base subdivisions all the way to the right, same as height subdivisions all the way to the right. What that does is smooth it out. So with that being done, we're now going to drag in this picture we were talking about. We're going to connect it to our shape 3D, and you can see it gives us our world. Now we're going to select the camera node, and under the transform tab, we're going to enable use target. So we're going to check that. Under the Z-axis of translation, we're going to change that to 12. And that's going to give us our little round earth there. We're going to go back to the shape node, highlight it, go to transform, and set the Z-axis under rotation. We're going to set that to minus 23.5. That's just going to tilt our earth a little bit so it's not straight up and down. Now in order to animate this, we're going to right click our Y. We're going to modify with anim curves. We're going to go up to our modifiers here. And for scale, we're going to change that to 360. I have to remember to use the top row numbers versus the numbers on the right of my keyboard because I have a conflict with hotkeys. So if I seem a little slow at times, I have to think about what I'm doing. Okay, 360. We're going to bring in a text node next. So go here, click on the text node and drag it in above the merged 3D. Simply connect it as such. And up here now you can type whatever you want. I'm going to type "the world is yours" as we have it in the example. You can do what you want with the font and stuff. I'm going to change mine to semi-bold. I'm going to make the tracking 1.03 just to make it stretch a little more. Now you can see it's not really centered, so a little bonus tip here under V anchor, just click this middle icon and that brought it down. Otherwise you could go to your layout and use your Y-axis to move it up and down, but you can just hit this middle button and it'll bring it up to where it should be. Now we're gonna highlight our text node again. We're gonna hit Shift Space and we're gonna type in Bender. And that's gonna add us a Bender node. So with that Bender node selected, check your X axis. We want to be on X. We're going to set our angle to 90. We're going to go back and select the text again. We're going to come down to extrusion. And for our extrusion depth, we're going to make that 0.08. We're going to max out our subdivisions again right here all the way to the right. Same thing with smoothing angle. Take that all the way to the right. Now we're going to right click on bevel depth, choose expression, drag this plus sign to bevel width, and what that does is it locks these two together. So whatever number you put in here is going to be in there. It just makes them the same. So in either one of those, we're going to type 0.0063. We're going to go to our custom tab. We're going to highlight these 2 points. We're going to hit F as in Frank on our keyboard. We're going to drag these straight out, both right and left one. We're going to highlight this one in the right corner. We're going to pull it straight. Same with this one. You see it's at an angle. We're just going to pull it straight like such. Then we're going to go up to our shading tab. We're going to come down here to image. Our mapping level, we're going to go from character to word. Now we're going to go back to our Bender node, highlight that, enable group objects, put a check mark in there, set the amount to minus, right here amount, minus 0.5. Like I said, I have to remember to use my top row on the keyboard. Minus 0.5. Now go back to our text. Highlight your text. Now we want to go to the transform tab. But make sure if you look, there's transform here and there's transform here. This is the 3D transform. And that's what we want. We're working in 3D. So don't click this one. We want this one. We're going to set the translation Z right here. We're going to set that to 1.5. Here we go with the numbers again. 1.5. We're going to select the Bender node. We're going to hit Shift Space again. We're going to put in Transform. Bender. Shift Space. We want to transform. Transform 3D, we're going to add that. Now if you highlight this, Transform 3D, you come here to your Y rotation, and you see that Y rotation makes that circle around there perfectly. We're going to adjust the Z axis to 23.5. And that's going to tilt it like that. We can turn our Y. You see, it's circling there perfectly. Now to animate that, we have to right click on our Y, modify width, anim curves, go to your modifiers up here, and set the scale to 720. 720 as such. Now you can see if we take our playhead, they're both turning. The world turns and our images are turned. Now you'll notice in my case, because of the word this point and this point, if I were to go to the Edit tab and we were to play this through, for my liking, there's way too much space between this end and this end. So we're going to go back to our Fusion tab, and on our Bender node, we're going to decrease that amount to bring it closer together. Now when we scrub that, you can see the two ends aren't so far apart. We go back to our Edit and we scrub through that. You can see that they're not so far apart. Back to the Fusion tab. Now what we're going to do is add some chrome to our word. So in order to do that, we're going to come up here to our Effects tab. We're going to go to Templates, Fusion, and in your search bar here, just type Chrome. And we're going to take this Chrome and we're going to drag that down here by our text. Okay? So now what we're going to do is select the Chrome. I'm sorry, I had a girlfriend and a dog in the background making a little noise and it threw me off. Can you imagine that? Real life stuff. So anyway, we have our Chrome tab. Now we want to highlight the Text 3D tab. And we want to hit Shift Space again. And we want to type in Replace Material. So just type Replace. And you'll see the Replace Material. So add that to your text node. Now if you add your Chrome to the Replace Material, you'll see that it's now Chrome. You can see it's no longer white. We have Chrome on there. Now if it's rotating in the wrong direction, which I think it is, I would rather lead with the word the. I would rather have this coming this way instead of the going in this direction when it's playing. You'll see what I mean. We want to go to our Transform node, go to the modifier, and under the Y here, curve shape, we just click on Invert. Now, when you turn that, you see the word "the" is coming in first. The world is yours. It comes around that way. So we inverted that. Now for the lighting, we're going to select the render node. We're going to change software renderer to hardware renderer. So with that enabled, we're going to come down here to lighting. We're going to enable lighting. We're going to put a check mark in there. And that's how you enable the lighting. So with our lighting enabled, you can see it's a pretty bright spot there. So what we're going to do to dial that back, we're going to click on our directional lighting node. We're going to take target here. We're going to dial that back a little bit, and you can see the camera move in your left viewer. So we go back to 3D shape. We go to the material settings, and you take your intensity and bring that down. You see that spotlight come right down. There's real bright. We're going to bring it down. The same with your exponent. Just play with that to get it looking right how you want it. That's pretty much it for that. We'll go over here to our edit tab, and we'll scrub through here, and you can see our lighting, our earth is rotating, our words are rotating, and that's pretty much it. You got it. I apologize for the background noise today, but you can't have perfect settings every time. Sometimes you have to deal with a wife and a dog. Anyhow, that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.